Hello and welcome to episode 164 of the Perth to Paisley podcast, a podcast dedicated to Hearth and Midlothian Football Club. The Jambos were swept aside 3-0 at Celtic Park by the league leaders, securing third place in the process, but bounced back to beat Dundee at Tynecastle by the same scoreline. I'm Adam Kennedy and I'm joined as ever by Daniel McIver. How are you, Mr. McIver?
I'm very warm. It's been too hot the last few days. I'm not a fan. Can't handle it. I thought you messed up there at the start by saying Hearts were swept
I can see
aside
the
3
confusion in your
0 And I
face.
was like, what's going on? We're going to have to redo this. But no, you're more professional and competent than me. But generally, I'm doing fine. How are you doing?
More professional and competent than perhaps you give me credit for sometimes as well. Yeah, I'm all right, mate. Yeah, a lovely routine weekend win to chat about.
Yep.
Some other rubbish teams in the league to chat about. Yeah, just last week it feels a bit sad, doesn't it? But it's nearly another season just done in the books, so
Yep.
no matter. We move on. But as I said, a wonderful weekend win to chat about, and there was some absolute muck elsewhere in the league. We're going to chat about the other five games. We're going to go around the grounds, which started with the fourth and final league meeting between Celtic and Rangers on Saturday at lunchtime, ahead of the first Old Firm Scottish Cup final since 2002, as Celtic beat Rangers 2-1 at Parkhead to effectively seal the deal in terms of the Scottish Premiership title. Despite taking an early lead against Livingston, St Johnstone were sucker punched late on as they lost 2-1 away at Livy. Dunfermline Athletic and Inverness Caledonian Thistle remain the last two teams to have met four times in the Scottish Premiership and draw all four. There you go. Back in 2011-12, and today's pointless fact of the episode.
Wow.
Ross County were swept aside 5-1 by Motherwell. A superb late show from the Steelmen sees them hit the Staggies for five up in the Highlands. And a sole goal from club captain Kyle Vassell was enough to secure a fourth place finish for Kilmarnock as Kelly beat the Buddies St Mirren in Paisley 1-0. That was the Saturday games. And then Sunday's sole Scottish Premiership fixture. The boos were ringing round Easter Road on Sunday afternoon as pressure mounts on Montgomery following a fantastic four goals for Aberdeen. 16-year-old Fletcher Boyd marking his professional debut for the Dawn by putting the icing on the cake in the capital. What did you make of the other quintet of fixtures, Mr. McIver? I suspect where you're going to start.
Booze technically rung out, but there was only about 12 folk there. So I don't know if rung out is the right way to put it. Just hilarious. Like, listen, I thought it was going to be an evenly contested game between two sides that have massively underperformed this season. But in recent weeks, under Peter Leaving, Aberdeen have been a lot better. Um, but I didn't foresee that level of collapse from Hibs, where judging by the highlights, and if you look at like match thread updates and stuff, it seems that opening 20 minutes, Hibs were actually the team in charge. They were doing all right. They were creating chances. Keller
Makes
Roos
it
had
so
to
much
do
better, doesn't
stuff.
it?
And then they concede one goal to Leighton Clarkson for the edge of the box, and they just collectively go, right, fuck this. We're not playing the rest of this game. Just amazingly funny. I don't know how it's gone so badly for them. I was saying this on Twitter, but it's like that tweet that I imagine we've all seen from the Hibs fan at 77 minutes showing how few people were there. And it's like, I know last season was underwhelming for them. They finished fifth, and it's like, for Hibs, they view themselves as that's an underwhelming season. But it's kind of like, well, it was an improvement on the season before. So, right, are they going to kick on now? And I just think when they got beat, was it Andorra, that team that beat them
Yeah,
from?
Interdescalades or something like that.
Something
Yeah.
like that. Aye. As soon as that happened, you were like, oh, this could be one of these seasons for them. Just hilarious. I
And then they
think,
lost at home to Livingston as well,
oh God, yeah.
early
God,
doors.
yeah, I
And then
forgot
he
about
was he was
that.
he was under pressure, wasn't he? Lee. Mental to think that Lee Johnson entered the start of the season as Hibs manager, then left for Fleetwood, and then was sacked there as well.
Yeah, absolutely crazy. And just basically, I think that is Monty gone. I think that's
Yeah,
him away.
I think so.
Um,
I actually fancied them to get a result against Aberdeen to kind of
did you?
alleviate some of that pressure on him. Yeah, I just feel as though he would want to make the most of the home games and try and get
Yeah.
supporters back on side. That's just not the way to do it.
No, it's not at
Yeah,
all.
I'm with you. I think they'll make a change come the end of the season anyway.
Yeah, I think that's what's going to happen, sadly, because I'd love to just let it keep on going, give him a
Oh,
summer
absolutely.
on that
Who'll
path.
get the gig?
Worryingly, I think Alec Neil will get it.
I think so.
I
Just
don't
what
want him
based on
to.
what? Just the fact that
He's a
they're
name
an
and they'll have
attractive
money.
proposition and yeah,
Yeah, he'll go.
the dosh.
I
Oh
don't
no.
think they'll get McInnes because I just don't see him leaving Kelly at all right now.
Jack
But
Ross, take it.
Jack Ross, he
Neil
should be
Lennon,
sat there going, "You should
get
be
it up
giving
you.
this to
Yeah.
me." By the way, like I fucked off and it's all went tits up for you. But yeah, that's next season problem. So just now, ha 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 ha. Kelly, just speaking about McInnes, Kelly just look like a good Scottish Premiership team,
Yeah, they do.
basically.
Had a
Um,
great season, Kilmarnock.
really deserving of fourth place. Clearly the fourth best team in the country. I saw a thing where it was like they've lost one of the last 21, and their one was to Rangers. Like it's just crazy.
Yeah, I think the BBC had put a stat out saying that it's the longest unbeaten run by a non-Old Firm club against other non-Old Firm clubs in the top tier since Derek McInnes's Aberdeen, which was I think in 2017, 2018 or something like that.
Right.
Just a
Like
remarkable run that they're on.
just crazy. Absolutely crazy. St Mirren have just kind of quietly went about their business and just been like, yeah, we're not as good as some folk thought we were going to be. We're not as bad as some folk thought we were going to be. We're just solidly fifth. It's like fair play, Robinson.
Yeah, another that's doing a decent job as well,
Yeah,
taking advantage of clubs with better facilities, better resources, and just yeah, I mean the fact that European football could be coming to Paisley for the first time since 1987 is incredible.
mad. Absolutely mad. It's interesting to see Ross Laidlaw apparently just giving up playing as a goalkeeper and just chucking 3 goals in for no reason.
He
Um,
spoke about Hibs' collapse. That was quite the
yeah,
collapse for Ross County
exactly.
late on.
Just mad. Especially when it's like the Ross County and Dingwall have beaten us, Hibs, and Rangers in recent weeks,
Well,
and then Big Blair Spittle just runs through them like a train, which is good to see.
absolutely could have done with more from Jan Danda in that same
Ah,
minutes, mind you,
exactly.
but
Yeah.
hey, we move.
So fair play to them. Motherwell just seem to be clicking. It'll be interesting to see how many of this squad they can currently keep, especially I see Theo Bears linked to Charlton with Scott Fraser apparently staying at us is the main Charlton
Uh,
rumour.
yeah, I saw Bristol City as well. I think like
All
with
right,
Big Theo
okay.
Bear, so maybe Jordan Allen can persuade him down to
Maybe.
join the
Who
Robins.
knows?
You never
Who
know.
knows? Livingston, I don't know why they've suddenly decided to get their shit together now that the season's done.
I just maybe a lack of pressure, a lack of expectation,
Maybe.
being written off. Maybe that's where Livingston under Martindale have probably been at their best when they've been written off. That
Yeah.
was funny as well. Sorry, like I was looking into the stats. Livingston, the lowest scoring home team in the division. St Johnstone, the lowest scoring away team in the division. I tipped a 0-0 goal after 8 minutes.
Fuck's
I was
sake.
like, that is typical. That is why I'd never put a 0-0.
I'm worried for
Hate it.
Craig Levine and Gowser. I don't want them to
A
get relegated.
massive game in midweek for them, isn't it?
Yeah, it's huge. It's absolutely huge. Do you think that's the game where whoever wins will stay up? By stay
I
up, I mean not finish 11th.
Yeah, actually, I'm gonna have a look at. I'm not sure who they both play on the last day, but I wouldn't surprise me if it came down to that. St Johnstone just can't play at home. I mean, they're a terrible football team anyway. But Ross County hosting Aberdeen on the last day, tricky.
That'll be
Motherwell
hard.
hosting St Johnstone.
Oh, but they're not. Motherwell are going to beat St Johnston. Like,
Jesus.
yeah, doesn't it?
So yeah,
Doesn't it look good?
you probably are looking at that. What St Johnstone trail by 2 points? Yeah, St
Yeah,
Johnstone probably failed to beat Ross County. I think it'll
and
be them
that's it.
in the playoff place.
And then finally, the Old Firm. For folk who have listened to this podcast, you know I don't really watch it as a fixture. I watched 20 minutes and it seemed to be the 20 minutes where everything happened as I was getting ready to head out to our game. Kenny Miller just embarrassing himself
Oh my God,
nationally,
that is the shocker of the weekend. That was worse than John Lundstrom's performance, and he
which
had
is saying
an absolute
something.
nuke.
Yeah, exactly. Just mental to suggest it's not a record. The thing that has annoyed me most is him saying, if there wasn't VAR, no one would have complained if it was a yellow. As it happened, I went, that's a straight red. Look at how fast he's come in. He's clearly not got the ball. Alistair Johnson's in trouble. It's a red.
It was, it was him just tying himself up in knots. I was literally, I watched the clip of obviously he's next to Chris Sutton kind of in the
And then
commentary.
McFadden and all
James
that are in
McFadden.
the thing.
I was just
Yeah.
thinking, please just stop talking. Like you're embarrassing yourself now. And then
McFadden.
he appears on Sports Sound,
I know.
sorry, a couple hours later, and it's like the drink or whatever, the drink and whatever else he's been up to just hasn't worn off, and he's
Yeah.
still just mouthing off nonsense. Like, what are you doing? Stop talking.
The best part of that clip on Sky is when McFadden is making the point that Lundstrom's out of control. And Kenny goes, no, 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 he's in control. So there's a slight pause, and McFadden just goes, so you're saying he meant to do it then? And there is just a silence from Kenny Miller where he realizes, oh yeah, that's what I'm currently arguing, isn't it? Shit. Just
I love
baffling.
Chris Sutton's little grenade as well of
Yeah.
it's a red card in the
Yeah,
1970s.
like
Why that wasn't given more airtime I thought was annoying because I thought it was quite a good line, but
it was
no
almost as
matter.
embarrassing as Rangers' performance generally. What is it? It feels like it was only a month or two ago where everyone was like, if they win their next two games, they've won the league. And
I
then they've
know.
just imploded.
But the recent record against Celtic's terrible. I mean, I think it's
Yeah.
one win in 11 against Celtic, which
I saw it was
and
something
that
like,
and that win was when the league was done
yeah, I
because they
saw
beat them at Ibrox.
they've been leading Celtic for like 17 minutes in the last 5 or 6 games or something.
That's
Like
crazy.
it's absolutely mental. Yeah, that's Celtic winning what? They're 12th out of 13
12 and 13,
titles.
yeah. Three on the spin.
Aye. Hey, 10 the rows back on to see what happens. Bye. An eventful. We get ironically, I think our game, despite having 3 goals, was the least important game because it was just
Yeah.
two teams who were like, who gives a shit? Let's just have a laugh.
They're basically consigned to third and sixth, respectively, because at least
Yeah.
like Paisley, there was the decider for who takes fifth and fourth. I think we kind of alluded to it that there wouldn't be much change within the top six in the last episode, and it's proved that way. But yes, we are going to chat about Hearts demolishing Dundee 3-0 Tynecastle. Always welcome a win over that mob. Stephen Naismith made 3 changes to the Jambos 11 after they secured third place. Like I said, despite being beaten at Parkhead. Craig Gordon claimed just a second Premiership start of the season in goal, replacing Xander Clark, as the Jambos kept a 16th league clean sheet. Remarkable. Frankie Kent and George Grant also dropped onto the bench as Hearts changed shape, and I welcomed 4 at the back. Alan Forrest and Barry Mackay were starting on the flanks. So that meant the Hearts lined up. And what I thought was a 4-4-2 initially, I've then seen that it's a 4-2-3-1.
4-2-3-1
That
is
there's
how I'd
lots
say
of variation, 3 little
everybody moves about in
pickles
the
support
forward
Lawrence
line.
Shankland. Yeah, they're just interchanging. It's like
Yeah.
Pep's Barca.
Yeah,
Craig Gordon in
exactly.
goal. Back four of Dexter Lembakisa, Stephen Kingsley on the right, Kyrill's on the left, and Alex Cochrane at left back. Benny Beningame and Cammy Devlin sat in front of the back four. With those 3, your Pedro, Messi, David Villa being Alan Forrest, Barry Mackay, and Kenneth Vargas in behind Lawrence Shankland in attack. Were you happy with that selection, McIver? And did you fall into the trap of 4-4-2, or did you think it was a 4-2-3-1?
No, I thought it was a 4-2-3-1 when I saw it, purely because I was like, please let Mackay be in the 10. Please let him be in the 10. He wasn't really. He mostly spent his time out on the left, but he drifted inside. I mean, Craig Gordon and Alex Cochrane were playing, so I can't really have any complaints. It was so hot. I was just like, I didn't care what
Yeah,
this
it was
fight. I just
lovely on
want.
Saturday afternoon.
I needed
Absolutely
it to
stunning.
be. I needed it to be a good game. If it was, and to be fair, this season, well, the last few seasons, whenever we play a team for Dundee,
Yeah,
the
that's
games are
true.
always good. So, with how hot it was, I was like, please just let this be a good game. But then you see Craig Gordon starting, loving it. Alex Cochrane starting. The one slight, it's not an
Oh
issue I
no.
had, but I was just like, this would have been the perfect time for Tago to start a game. Because it's like Naismith's in the press the days before speaking about him and Oda, about how Tago was kind of like a signing that we signed a year too early, but we weren't sure if we'd ever have a chance of getting him unless we signed him now.
Very
So
interesting.
therefore, Naismith was like, we didn't really have any plans for him because obviously Shankland is the
The main man.
striker that we're playing. So that's quite interesting. He was speaking about how both him and Oda are just getting a full preseason to be like, right, let's see what we can do. And I was just like, well, here's the perfect opportunity. A game that literally doesn't mean anything. We can just have a laugh, do whatever we want. Play Tagawa, but he didn't. Um, he then brought on somebody who we'll speak about who was in the same mold of just being like, here is half an hour of pressure-free football. See what you can do. And I was glad to see who we'll speak about later. But generally, good team. I was like, you can tell it's end of season because we've dropped Frankie Kent for a slight niggle because we're just like,
Yeah.
who gives a shit? It doesn't matter. But that's good that we're in a position where we don't need to risk players who are potentially a wee bit hurt.
And Stephen Kingsley starting on the right hand side of the back four. Like again, it doesn't really matter what happens, but
Yeah.
he's just such a good footballer that he can
I've just
adapt to
remembered
that.
one other thing about the team, and it's
Yes.
more about what Naismith said after the game that I personally disagree with, but
Okay.
I'll give it to Nazy. He's welcome to make these choices. He spoke about the fact that I saw Macaulay Tate wasn't in the squad and was like, oh, he must have been hurt. But then Naismith spoke about the fact that no, it was just competition for places. And I'm like,
Interesting.
listen, love Aiden Denham, and I
Because
thought he came on and did all right.
I was going to say you were kind of angling for Macaulay Tate to potentially start
I wanted the Tate and
on
Denham
Saturday.
double
Yeah.
pivot. Um, I love Aiden Denham. And again, as I say, I thought he came on, did himself no disrespect. He did very well. But I was like, I'd rather have Macaulay Tate in, especially over Scott Fraser, who inexplicably, I know he got an assist, but I don't care, who just
Thank God you said
inexplicably
that
got more
before we
minutes.
get chatting about it.
But like, again, unless the rumours of Charlton fans are true and Nazy has seen someone and we are signing Scott Fraser, I don't see how that's going to happen. But give Macaulay Tate pressure-free minutes again at home. Just do it. But he did.
I was delighted to see Barry Mackay back in that starting
Yeah.
11
Mhm.
because again I've spoken at length the fact that he is one of few that plays a killer pass as was reflected in this 90 minutes. But you mentioned Lauren Shanklin there. I've kind of got a little theory about Shanklin, particularly at Parkhead, where it looked to me, when he was kind of punching the ball for the penalty that was then awarded.
Mhm.
Is Lauren Shanklin, is he that desperate to play for Hearts this season upon the European Championships? What I mean by that is he's basically achieved all he can achieve at Hearts, really. He's probably going to end the league's top goal scorer. This could have been an opportunity for Kielski Tagawa. Yeah, this is terrible because I was talking about conspiracy theorists or whatever last week. But was he trying to get himself sent off at Parkhead so as not to play in this game or the rest of the season?
No, because before this game, he was 2 away from 30. And I think he wants to hit 30. He's now 1 away. I don't count the
I,
Scotland goal, by the way.
I was going to say with that Scotland goal, that is 30.
No, no, I don't give a
No,
shit
you're not
about
having it.
that. Fuck
Okay,
that. He might, but I dare.
he definitely will.
Yeah, but it was when it was announced his 30th goal for club and country. I was like, fuck the country. I don't care. I want him 30 for Hearts. So I want him playing against St Mirren because I want him to get 30.
And
But
then
we've,
play tag on against Rangers to see what
yeah,
happens.
fuck it. Just be like, Kioski, there is literally no pressure, mate. Just get in behind John Suter for 90 minutes and see what happens.
A social experiment that could
Yeah.
be on Sunday. Very well. So we're happy with the team. We're happy with selection. Would have liked to have seen a couple youngsters maybe feature from the start, but all in all, can't really complain. But classic Hearts don't start particularly well. Dundee had the first opportunity on 6 minutes. Amadou Bakayoko clipping a ball over to the right-hand side before making his way into the box. Luke McCowan controls, finds his midfield partner Lyle Cameron, who sends Jordan McGee on his bike down the right flank. The former Jambo clips into the area, but the Frenchman who started the move heads wide of the mark. It's a wee bit too high for him. A wee bit of a, I was going to say a warning sign, but it's not really because, again, this game doesn't really matter. But yeah, the same kind of problem, I guess, is that we've not started all that well, even though it's our penultimate home game of the season.
See, I think we started really well. I was like, I think I said on Twitter, I was like, from minute one, I was like, oh, this is so comfortable. Like we were just keeping the
They did have a couple of
ball,
chances, Dundee, but I think they could
nothing
have been
that
playing till
ever
now that
worried
yeah,
us. Yeah,
nothing clear cut.
I just felt immediately it was like, listen,
This is actually a game of few opportunities considering the
yeah,
scoreline.
it was interesting that way. It did just feel like a party. Like everybody just didn't give a shit.
Certainly looked like a party in the Gorgie stand
I
with the
was about to
ultras.
say, in the first minute, they chuck all the beach balls up in the air, and for the next 5 minutes, the ref has to keep stopping the game because the beach balls are on the park. And then eventually, a guy with a pitchfork just came and was like hitting them all into bags.
Ah, boo!
But yeah, I just felt
Could have had a Darren Bent-esque goal.
literally that's all I was hoping for. I didn't care that it would have come against us. I was just like, that would be funny. But yeah, I just felt immediately I was like, we're in complete control here. And honestly, it may be because Dundee were thinking we got beat by St Mirren the week before. We're not getting fifth. Six is the best. But this was the worst I've seen Dundee play all season.
Yeah, they were
They,
poor.
they were really poor. They just didn't really offer anything.
Didn't really add up with Tony Docherty's comments after the game. He seemed to kind of be pleased with the performance, proud of the performance, and
Yeah.
saying that his players kind of went toe to toe with Hearts, a good Hearts team at Tynecastle. I didn't really see it that way
Nah.
because that early chance falls to Bakayoko, but then from the rest of the half, it's pretty much all Hearts. Alan
Yeah.
Forrest is a left-footed effort from the right-hand side, deflected. John McCracken in goal gathers with ease on 18 minutes and 20 minutes, perhaps the best chance before we do find that breakthrough. Break forward through Barry Mackay on halfway, finds Kenneth Vargas on the left-hand side. He cuts back, passes inside to Mackay. He sends it forward to Shankland, who clips a ball to the back post with the aforementioned Kenneth Vargas, heads towards goal, only to be denied by John McCracken. Again, I said a sluggish start, but beginning to find our feet, beginning to look a little bit livelier as we kind of end the first quarter of the game or so.
Yeah. This is a really good save.
It's a good
Vargas
save
does,
because it was a decent effort.
yeah, he does everything right. He gets above it and heads down towards the ground, and it's just a good save. But speaking about how Dundee won that good, I kind of felt that they really missed Shaughnessy and Carson. It felt like the Carson and Shaughnessy obviously are very experienced players,
Yeah,
and
been round the block at this
yeah,
level in this division.
they've been proper stalwart to the Dundee back line this season, and a big reason as to why they've been so successful this season. But it did kind of feel like, well, I didn't actually realize that Carson wasn't in goals until this moment, where I was like, oh wait, that isn't Trevor Carson. And yeah, it did just feel like whoever obviously directly replaced Shaughnessy, but McCracken as well, this was kind of his only good moment because we will eventually get to it at the very end, but he doesn't cover himself in glory for later chances. And just it also coincided with us just clicking really well. And just it was one of the games where it felt like every forward player was going to score. And technically, they did in like and then the only forward player that didn't got all the assists. So like it was just an afternoon where you were like everything's clicking.
Yeah, in terms of that Dundee team, Ryan Astley, Rick's boy, took Joe Shaughnessy's place. Sorry. Sorry, I'm terrible. Or
Right,
35
let's end
minutes.
the episode now. That's the best we're going to get.
Hartswood headed to halftime with their noses in front, however, taking the lead on 35 minutes. Like I say, Stephen Kingsley receives from Dexter Len-McKees on the halfway line, searches out the marauding Alex Cochrane, bombing on as he so often does. You and I both love to see it. Numbers 18 and 19 link up down the left as Barry Mackay receives from the fullback down the wing, cuts inside before faking to go back out. He has Jordan McGee doing the Canadian barn dance, floats a ball to the back post, where the stretching Kenneth Vargas pokes home for his sixth Scottish Premiership goal and ninth in all competitions this season. 1-0 Heart of Midlothian.
It's obviously an excellent ball in from Mackay.
Delicious.
So well done. But I think it's also a really impressive finish from
Yeah,
Vargas as
considering
well.
he's stretching.
Yeah, it's like a flying kick. And it just, he manages to get it that he's not just made contact and hoped. It's kind of like, I just need to get contact and turn my foot and it'll go
He's
in.
he's so like bizarre to watch, Kenneth
I know.
Vargas, isn't he? Like he's got moments of brilliance that you're like, how have you just done that? And then there's chances where you put the mortgage on it to score, and he'll balloon it over the bar, and you just think, how can you go from that to that?
This is why you're
Um,
here
yeah,
at this point.
exactly. But what I was going to say is, considering there was a little spell, kind of, I was going to say midway through the season where he was sort of taking a wee bit criticism, a wee bit flack. People not too sure whether he should take the punt or if his loan deal was going to become a permanent one. That's not a bad return in all competitions for wee Vargas. If that's, I mean, considering he's a young man, still learning about Scottish culture, still trying to understand his teammates, the language, leaving behind a young family, I think it's a pretty impressive, solid first season for Kenneth Vargas.
Well, that's now, I was just checking there, 12 goal contributions from him in all competitions.
Not bad.
Like, as someone who has been often played out wide as well, and yeah, as you say, just like it, you couldn't get a bigger culture shock going
No.
from Costa Rica to Edinburgh. Um, where that day at the weekend was probably the first time he's felt like he was at home with the weather, because every other day he's been here has just been hell.
We're still considering getting his gloves on though, wasn't he?
Yeah,
He
he
was
was.
feeling a
Yeah,
wee bit chilly.
exactly. But to get over double figures goal contributions, be only one goal away from double figures in goals alone,
Yeah.
is so impressive. I saw there was a stat for Joel Sked that it was like before the winter break, Shankland's goals were 50% of our total goals. And then since the winter break, Shankland's goals are only 38% or something of our total
Still quite a
goals.
chunk, but
It's still
that's
quite a
not as
chunk,
bad.
but a lot of that is through Kenny Vargas since January, like the turn of the year, just really kicking on.
See the back of the winter and that's him kicked on
Exactly.
again. It's
He's
no
like,
surprise, is
finally, we're
it?
just never going to be able to use them from November to
He's
January.
defrosted,
Yeah,
you Vargas.
exactly. Exactly. Wasn't it against it was against
Rock and roll.
Dundee at home that where we were 2-0 down and then we won 3-2 with Lembakisa scoring Neuenhoff, the game that Neuenhoff like came to life in. But folk were like, this might get rained off. And it was just the idea of Kenny Vargas just sat outside, he's like looking at his window, being like, why have I come here? Like, what is this?
And again, like I was talking about kind of the brilliant and the brutal from Vargas, I'm fairly certain in that game he skied one over the bar and you're just thinking
Yeah.
like,
He
come
was
on,
offside.
not today.
He was
Yeah, that's
offside,
right.
but no highlight reel showed he was offside. It just made it look like he missed the biggest sitter ever. And then he scores a flying kick against them the next time they rock up.
What a guy. Pura vida. I love that wee guy, honestly. I'm obsessed with him. However, 4 minutes later, and our lead looked to be in jeopardy. Owen Dodgson turns nicely before slipping the ball inside to Lyle Cameron. The youngster has a strike at goal, which hits Stephen Kingsley, and Nick Walsh points to the spot after Kingsley is adjudged to have handled inside the area. I say it every time he officiates one of our games, McIver. The standard's bad. He is the worst by
He
a
is the
country
worst.
mile.
The absolute worst. I have never seen a player more convinced that they didn't just give away a penalty.
And rightly so.
As it hit him, he just puts up his other hand and goes, no, don't even try. Don't even try. And he points at his arm. When it's then given, not only does he argue, but as he argues, the ball comes past him, as clearly the ball is trying to get sent back to Lyle Cameron. And Kingsley,
so
mid-argument, reaches down, picks it up, and volleys it to the corner flag going, it's a fucking corner. It's not a penalty. And it was just, when you see that level of a reaction, you're like, right, there is some into this. It's not just like a player being like, oh, what am I meant to do? Kind of thing that they always
in a
do.
meaningless fixture, like you said.
Yeah, exactly. Like, absolutely.
If it was at like kind of peak season, then you'd understand why he was so vexed. But the fact that this is a dead rubber and it's just a ridiculous call from Nick Walsh. I mean, Kingsley does everything right. Because his arm is not in an unnatural position.
Well, that's the thing. He actually does more
whatsoever.
than everything right. He goes out his way. He'd be like, oh, I'll get this completely into my body just to be sure. And it's the fact that Nick Walsh doesn't, like, it doesn't hit his hand, whistle, point. It hits his arm, as he suggests. It goes out. Some Dundee players call for it, and then he kind of goes, penalty. Like, he doesn't even seem sure of it himself. Justice is done, though.
Thankfully, Nick Walsh does reverse his original decision after consulting VAR. Again, my qualm isn't the usage of VAR. My qualm is him not reaching the correct decision in the first place and relying on VAR.
Yeah.
And Dundee are thankfully denied a penalty kick in front of the Gorgie stand. However, half-time, 1-0 up. Fair reflection of the opening 45 minutes.
Yeah, just everybody having fun in the sun. 1-0 up. Lovely, lovely half of football. Everybody was feeling great. You can't ask for more. It was just great. And then you end up getting more in the second half. We're spoiled.
That we do. As on 53 minutes, it wasn't to be long before Hearts would double their advantage right at the start of the second half. And I alluded to him earlier, Barry Mackay receives in the left-back position, skips by a couple Dundee players and just sends a wonderful pass through the middle of the D defence. Alan Forrest latches onto it as it carves the back four open, takes a touch past the onrushing John McCracken. Again, why is he there?
No idea.
And coolly slots into an empty net. The man I tipped to score in this very game, check out our last episode if you haven't already, slots the Jambos 2 to the good. Happy days. But it's dreadful defending.
It's dreadful defending. I don't know why. Owen Dodgson did not have a good game. No. I don't know why he's so deep. It's a harder finish than it looks potentially, because
absolutely is.
A lot of people just go, oh, well, you've got an empty net, so you should score. But, they can go wrong. The ball played by Mackay is ridiculous. I will say, that game was everything you love about Mackay, but also infuriated you, because it was like, why can't you do that when it matters? Like, come on, but I want you to be the guy that is doing this every game, like you were 2 seasons ago, but it just felt like in every game.
You just said it about Kenneth Vargas. If he was doing that when it mattered most, he would not be pulling on the maroon shirt week after week.
I know, but it's getting a bit ridiculous now where it's so predictable that in a game
and
that
the fall off is just
it's mad.
Wild.
Like, I saw somebody say, I think it was my mate Craig, was like, apart from his 2 assists, he didn't actually do anything, which is a very Rudy performance. Just like walking about, he was holding his wrist towards the end of the game, kind of being like, please bring me off. I'm really tired and hot. But it's like, it doesn't matter if that's what he does. Like, if the 2 things he does are 2 of the best assists of the season, it's like, yeah, that's fine.
Work is done.
Yeah, he can swan about all he wants. It's all right. But yeah, just please, Barry, because I saw Naismith spoke about the fact that he's kind of like hoping that next season is back to the Barry Mackay 2 seasons ago, where it's like he's in a 10 doing shit.
And I was going to say he's just had such an injury ravaged
Yeah.
campaign that it's not a fair reflection, or it's not fair to criticise. But if we can keep him fully fit, I mean, he is a talented footballer. I agree with the finish, RE
Yeah.
Forrest, because I think the fact that he's not forced as wide by the touch, he knows exactly what he's doing to take it
Mhm.
past the goalie, but he barely looks up before he slots
I
it away,
know.
really. It is
Yeah.
a quick glance and then just kind of tucks it away. Again, another player that just looks full of confidence after a bit of a stop-start season last campaign. So,
Yeah.
uh, good options we've got, really.
And we're adding Dandan Spittle to it at least next season.
Exactly. I mean, let Maisie cook. It's
Exciting
all,
times.
it's what it's all about. That being said, Dundee would try and half the deficit, get themselves back into a fairly meaningless match. Smart stop from Craig Gordon to deny Luke McCowan as the D come forward, looking to half the deficit, like I say, a few minutes later. And then a lovely cross on the right hand side is stabbed goalwards by Owen Dodgson, who, albeit had a shocker at left wing back. But it's a great block from Stephen Kingsley and protects the clean sheet.
I need
Go
to
on.
say something about this. Because of where we're sat, like me and my dad.
Please don't tell me you thought that Gordon saved it.
So me and my dad can often disagree a lot on Hearts, but the one thing that we are very much agreed on is our love for Craig Gordon. So this happens, and from our angle, my dad just turns and looks at me and goes, "That's save of the season." That's that because it looked like Gordon made it. And it was just like, yep, that's what he does. He's somehow glitched and moved his leg into a new area and managed to block
Oh
it. And then you
dear.
go home and you watch Sports Scene and you're like, oh, actually, it was Stephen Kingsley. But it doesn't matter because in that moment, my dad was saying that
You're
when he's in a
convinced it was
retirement
CG.
home in 20 years and he's just like, remember when Gordon made that save? It's like, no, Kingsley made the ball. He's like, Gordon made the save. That's our memory of that moment. And we were just like, this is why he should be playing. He makes blocks that he doesn't even make, but we just give it to him. Well, in Kingsley for the actual block. He played very well.
Oh, phenomenal. Stephen Kingsley's been the unsung hero of the season for
Aye.
me.
He's been back to his best.
He really has. Again, last season, another who, I mean, I think we said it when he was called up for the Scotland team that he kind of had had that little dip in form and then stuff going on, but now it seems like everything he does. I mean, he's just a classy footballer.
Yeah.
Can fill in anywhere. Lovely left peg. Yeah, a top player and an unsung hero for us this season, in my opinion. On 62 minutes, however, Hearts would make two changes, one of which came in the back four with Toby Sibbick coming on for Dixon Bakisa, but the other was teenage talent James Wilson coming on for Kenneth Vargas. And just 2 minutes after that duo came on, they would combine down the right hand side, Sibbick freeing Wilson. Our teenage talent sneaks in behind the Dundee defence. The 17-year-old assesses his options, looks to catch McCracken out at his near post, and forces the Dundee keeper to make a stop. McIver, he can't buy a pint yet. He'll be learning to drive. I'm pretty sure I saw him feature against Dunfermline in pre-season. And I thought he looked lively then. This was quite the cameo for the young man, wasn't it?
Well, this was the thing. I was at the Spartans game back
Of course.
in the start of the year, and he started, and I thought he looked miles out his depth. Like he didn't look good. He was off it, and I was like, "Oh fucking hell! All right, okay, it's a League Two. I know it's a good League Two team, but it's still a League Two team." So when he came on, I was like, "Good." As I was saying about like pressure-free minutes, you've got half an hour to just kind of do what you want and give yourself a good first impression. I can't believe how good he was. Like, yes, that moment there, it's a really good hit. And fairness to
Yeah, he
McCracken, he
connects
makes a good
well.
save. But I couldn't believe his all-round play. Listen, he's a very slight guy, but his
He does look like a
hold-up play,
teenager, doesn't
yeah.
he?
But his hold-up play, and he won like 3 aerial challenges as well. And just if obviously he was kind of overshadowed by Aberdeen's teenager getting a goal in his debut. But
Fletcher Boyd. Maybe
in
that's
ter-
Scotland's front two in the future.
yeah, exactly. In terms of a like league debut, he did very well. I was so chuffed for him. And yeah, if that's what we're going to come to expect, and after the game you see Naismith say, that's it now, Wilson won't be going on loan next season. He's going to be in the first team. Like he is going to be an option. You can understand why Villa, Brighton, Wolves have been trying to get him.
Yeah, it was a very impressive cameo. Did a Hearts striker not make the move to Villa? A young Hearts striker recently? Am I right in saying that? Something might
I
have
can't
to.
remember. I remember
You
there
might
was
have to
stuff
fill me
about
up on that.
Wilson being like Villa have tried, but he chose to stay with us. And then there was
Yeah,
that Mark Leonard who was at Brighton, but he's not a striker.
yeah, that's right. But I thought I thought there was another
I
youngster
think there was.
had
I
signed for
remember
Aston
there's
Villa.
something being that we've lost somebody to Villa who was good.
But you are right. Was it? No, I can't remember. Um, but yeah, I mean, Hearts have obviously tied him down. I think because he's
So
not
he's
to fend off
contracted.
interest, wasn't it?
He's contracted until the end of next season. However, we then have an optional additional year if we want to take it up.
And we can choose to extend that.
Yeah,
Yeah, so there you go. Yeah, interesting. One to watch for next year.
definitely.
Absolutely no doubt about it. Another couple changes in Denham and Utaro Oda replacing Cammy Devlin and Alan Forrest. Cammy Devlin has been
Correct.
excellent recently,
Well,
hasn't
I'm
he?
so glad you
He,
mentioned him because
he really has.
despite Stephen Kingsley's amazing defensive work, despite Barry Mackay's two amazing assists, for me, Devlin was man of the match, which I think I've said the last four games. Like, I think
I was going
he's
to say
just been,
the Kelly one definitely.
yep,
Yeah, I think you have. A good few in a row anyway.
he's just won player of the month. Like, he's just been on a different level of form the last few games, and I'm so chuffed for him.
He and dare I say it, Benny Beningame
Well,
looked
can
back
we
to his
speak
best at the
about
weekend as well.
this
But the
now?
comments, yeah,
What is it? What's he doing? I had
teasing, isn't
accepted
he?
he was away, right?
Yeah, we both had.
I still think he's away,
But
but he's made the
judging by the
weirdest
comment,
comments ever. Why
do you
is he?
want
Yeah,
do you want me
so
to get it up for those that
you
haven't? I
you
mean,
get
I'm
them
assuming that
ready. But
those.
as I remember, just think off the top of my head, I swear he makes his general point is,
Sorry to
um,
detract from Cammy Devlin because he was fantastic, but that's the norm now.
we love Cammy Devlin, favorite player apart from Alex Cochran and Craig Gordon. Love you. Benny's comments were essentially, I know where I'm going to be playing next season. I can't tell you. However, I'm then just going to speak about Hearts' season next season in the first person as if I'm going to be a part of it.
As Benny Beningame said, it's going to be harder next year because teams will come for you, but I think we can improve, and I think we will improve next season. It's the test of what Rangers and Celtic do all the time. It's doing well in the league and also trying to do well in Europe. That's a tough task, but if we want to be that team, and I believe we can be, I think next season is going to be very exciting.
What are you doing to us, Benny? I've heard rumours that he signed a 3-year deal. I've heard
April
rumours
was
that he's
last month, Benny. This is not
yeah.
nice.
I've heard rumours he signed a 3-year deal. I've heard rumours that he signed a pre-contract in the championship. I've heard everything in between that. I'd
You
if
need to get
he
better
is,
sources then and
I
try and
know
get all your
exactly.
sources to
This
amalgamate
is
and be connected
ridiculous.
on the same page here.
If he is staying, the only reason I assume he's not just saying it is because the club are like, we've got a big plan for the announcement. Don't say it because it ruins it.
He's essentially said it the very next interview that he's then done.
Yeah, but listen, I'm still of the opinion he's away. I thought he was good at the weekend as well, by the way. Devlin was kind of the main focal point, but he was good. I just though that interview has confused the fuck out of me. I had fully accepted. I was like, he's away. He would have signed by now. There's absolutely no chance he's going to stay when he's starting to get a run of fitness. He's just going to head down to the championship or even at a push low end premiership, potentially a promoted team, because fucking English clubs do that. They just take like English nationality players to fulfill a quota. I know he would represent
I know he's
somewhere.
homegrown. I
Yeah,
know what
but
you're saying.
he's a homegrown player. So like an Ipswich might just be like, we'll just take him for nothing. And if he turns out good, he turns out good. But if not, he fulfills a quota. But now I don't know what to think.
Could see him playing for Luton or somebody.
Yeah,
Yeah,
exactly.
yeah,
Yeah,
you could see that.
a Blackburn.
I really hope not. I'm gonna be sad. I'm gonna be sad because it's just like this has been a great season, but then I just think about potential departures this summer. It just
Yeah, I was going to say, Ben, no
it
offense
winds
to
me
him,
up.
but Benny is low down on my worries about leaving.
I know, but it's still sad. I mean, I thought that man was gonna earn us £10 million. I got all carried
Listen,
away at
he
the
might
start of
sign
that
a 3 year
season.
deal and do that eventually. Like, who knows?
He might, but he
How
might
old is
not.
he?
I don't know. 26 or something? Is he as old as that?
He's 25.
No, that wasn't a bad guess.
So, 3 year deal, get him into his prime, sell him for 10 million.
Yeah.
It's fine.
Yeah. Get him into his prime and then he'll just let it run down and leave her
Yeah,
free.
exactly. We've seen it all before.
One more change with just over 10 minutes to go. As you said, Barry Mackay, eager to get off. Don't know what he had planned. Maybe he's just ringing his takeaway ready for Eurovision on Saturday night.
Maybe.
But Scott Fraser came on and contributed to a goal. As
What has
on 90
happened?
minutes, Craig Gordon's long kick forward is sent back to Benny Beningame by Lauren Shanklin. Benny slips it to Scott Fraser, who mainly me, slewed last week, but he drives forward, beats Lauren Shanklin. Shank strikes virtually at John McCracken, but his effort trickles into the net. 3 goals, 3 points, 30 goals, 29 for Hearts in all competitions, one for Scotland this season. And our number 9 gets in on the action. Heart Midlothian nil. Heart Midlothian 3, Dundee nil. But they're in the end.
In Ewan Waddle's pitch side highlights, you see Shanklin just go, thank fuck for that. As he scored. Um, just the weirdest goal. It looked like a FIFA glitch where it was like, how is that gone in?
Rubbish.
It's so
Really
bad.
rubbish.
That's
But
what I mean.
listen,
McCracken made 2 really good saves in the game and 2 awful moments as well.
but like he'll say it. They all count. Like
Oh,
he's
he won't give a
like
fuck.
he
Like,
will not care a single jot that
yeah,
that's trickled in. But I think that pretty much just epitomised Dundee's afternoon, to be honest.
very fair. And yeah, just a great, fun, happy day at Tynecastle. The best.
And here's hoping for 2 more great,
I
happy,
think there will be.
fun days to round off the 2023-24
We should have
season.
got all the players out with their families then and just be like, yep, this is it. It's the end of the season. Spurs did
Yeah,
it. Spurs have got City
yeah,
to
but
come and they were just
that's
like, it's all
that's
right,
because they don't want
lads.
to gift Arsenal the league, and
Yeah.
I'm a big fan of that. It would just be funny to see Ange just play like a load of youngsters
Did you see
against Man City and just see them get absolutely battered.
somebody posted a tweet that it was like it happened in the Serie A in like the early 2000s or something. It was like Napoli or Lazio, a team in blue, had to, if they lost, Roma wouldn't win the. It might have been Lazio because
It
Roma would have
makes
won the
sense for
league.
it to be
Yeah,
Lazio.
and they got beat 4-0. And when the game was wrapping up, their ultras unveiled a banner that just went, "Oh no!" Like, really sarcastically. And I'm like, I feel like that's what Spurs fans are going to do on Wednesday night.
That it's just imagine that. Like, I know I belittle the split, and I'm not a fan, but the fact that that is the scenario down there. I mean, what would you want?
I'd
Imagine
want
we had that exact same scenario.
if we were in a
We had to
situation,
beat one of the old firm to allow Hibs to win the league. I mean, we'd be rolling over
I'd want
100%.
10-0 Old Firm at half time.
100%.
Like, fuck that.
Not a chance. They
No
won't
way.
win anything. But thankfully, that won't be the case this
Yeah,
season,
and
and
that will never
hopefully not
happen
next.
ever, regardless of how good us or Hibs ever become.
Back to the real world. 2 games this week. St Mirren away in Paisley on Wednesday night. 7:45 kickoff in that one. And Rangers at Tynecastle on Sunday, 12:30 for that one in our final game of the season. What are you hoping for? wanting within this duo? What's the thoughts?
Well, Naismith's spoken about the magical 70 points, which we are 4 points away
Four
from.
from, yeah.
I don't think we'll get that. I think we'll get one more point. I think we'll
Oh
finish on
my
67
God.
points. However, you never know. We might just go to
I think we're going to finish on at least 69 points.
one of the games on Wednesday night, which is, by the way, why we're recording this on a Monday and releasing on a
Yeah,
Tuesday.
nice.
And I were in explain why we're on a different day. It's one of the games where it's like, yeah, that's it now. Literally, neither team has anything to play for, including St Mirren. So
Yeah.
they also might just be like, oh fuck it. Are they at home
To hell with this.
last game
On
of
the
the
last
season?
day.
Yeah.
Good question. I'll
So
go
it's
and have
going
a
to be
look
like,
for
if
you.
this is their last, the nightmare is that this is their last home game. They want to finish with a big result. Actually,
I think it might be.
shit,
Just having a look here. Hold on a second.
that worries
No,
me.
they're at Parkhead on
Fuck.
on Saturday. Yeah.
Right, never mind. I take it all back. They're going to be like, we want to have a big, amazing win. Oh well. Ah well. I
Some of the
think
games in midweek look magnificent, can I just say?
who can I guess them?
Yeah, go for it.
Hearts versus St Mirren.
How did you get that one?
I think Killie are playing Celtic,
They are
so Rangers are playing Dundee.
tomorrow night. Yeah, that's the
Oh,
Tuesday game.
is that the Tuesday
Yep,
game? Right, okay. Hibs are playing Motherwell. I know
they
that
are.
because
Blair
it's
Spittle, Sam Nicholson,
I'm
Andy Halliday.
on Stevenson and Hanlon's last home game. It's like,
Yes,
come
it's
on,
written in the
Blair.
stars.
Oh, come on. Ross County, St Johnston,
Yeah, in Perth,
Livingston, Aberdeen.
which leaves Aberdeen, Livingston at Pittodrie. Yeah.
Look at me. I know this league that I've spent 4 years doing a podcast about. But yeah, I think it's going to be a tough game. I'd take a point. I mean, it literally doesn't matter. But
Yeah.
like, if we can go there,
Our away
I
form's
hope we
been good
win.
though. I know they've
I
been
know.
solid. I mean, we beat them through there last month
Oh
in
God, we
Paisley,
did. The
2-1.
angriest stand in the entirety of Scottish football, that West stand.
Beating them home and away since obviously they beat us first league game of the season or
That's
first league
true.
meeting of the season.
Yeah.
So,
Fuck it. 2-0 us. Another clean sheet.
oh, nice. Scores?
Shanklin double a la Robbo when he beat the record against Rangers where he scored and then a
Oh,
few minutes later just got another in to like make it definite.
oh, nice.
30 and then he'll get 31 and then he will do nothing on the final day against Rangers.
I was going to say then we'll get hauled off and Taggable
Yeah.
will play against Rangers on Sunday.
Yes. And then I think we're just going to get
Sunday.
battered by Rangers. But it means fuck all because they've lost the league already.
Nice.
What about you? How are you
Be
thinking?
quite funny if Dundee actually held them
Oh,
tomorrow
it'd be
night.
so funny. Actually imagine. There'd be nobody there. There'd be 5 Rangers fans turn up at Tynecastle and only so they could boo. Like that would be it.
Um, I yeah, I've said we'll get at least 69 points. I think we'll beat St Mirren 2-1 again, and we will at least draw against Rangers.
Fuck it.
This will probably be the one that we win.
We're going
The
to
most
beat
pointless one.
Rangers 1-0 Tagawa. That's what's going to happen. Right? I'm putting that as a bet on.
Get down to the bookies.
Yeah,
Stick
I'm
that
doing
on.
it.
Scorecast.
I'll put a $5 on it and see what happens. I wonder what fucking odds you get for 1-0
I was just about to
Hearts.
say, do you want me to check? Sky
Do
are
it.
usually the best for odds.
Yeah,
Let's have
go for that.
a look on Sky as we speak.
It would just be the funniest thing in a game that means nothing for either side. We've beaten Celtic a couple of times this season. Basically been like, here you go, Rangers. Here's 2 separate opportunities to catch up Celtic on points. They
Sorry,
never did.
I said Sunday. It's the Saturday. The bottom 6 are on Sunday, so that's
Oh, thank fuck you said that because I thought it was Sunday as well.
No, it's Saturday. Sorry.
Well, thank God for you. And it's a 12:30. I forgot.
Just tried to check the markets on Sky, not out yet, presumably because there's another fixture around the corner.
Shocking. So what are they doing?
Disgraceful.
Hopefully it's a nice solid 55-1. And just see what happens. But yeah. Fuck it. I'm going apparently 2 wins and 2 clean sheets, according to me.
Put the contrast from 1 point for these
Yeah,
two games.
I opened this by going, it's going to be shite. And then I've remembered how much of fun it was on Saturday. And I've been like, right, we're going to do this.
Let's go for 2-1 victories. Okay.
Take that.
And just like the season, the end is near to this particular episode. However,
Nice.
before we go, we've got the quiz. Thanks, mate. Cards on the table here.
Oh, God.
This was made this afternoon, and I think I've made it a bit too tricky.
Right. What a fucking shock. Adam
No,
makes a hard quiz for Daniel.
I'm willing to give clues, obviously, for the questions. So
I genuinely thought you were about to say, I'm willing to give clues for the who am I. Like, it's like, yeah, that's part of the fucking
I don't
format.
so.
Yeah.
Just guess a random player
Who
for
am
a
I?
year.
Adam Kennedy. Correct. Sorry.
First question. 4 Hearts players have reached the 100 appearance milestone this season. Can you name them?
Tammy Devlin. Barry Mackay.
Yep.
Alex Cochrane.
Yep.
Fuck.
I like how you've gone reverse order as well.
Yeah, I
Tammy
know.
Devlin, obviously, at the weekend. Barry Mackay the week before against Celtic. Alex Cochrane in the 1-0 defeat to Rangers back in December.
Who's been here for fucking ages?
And
Alan Forrest.
did so well with the first 3.
Fuck.
But the 4th is a man that's been on this very podcast, Liam
Oh,
Boyce.
really? Fucking hell.
And against his former club as well, a 1-0 win
Of
up in
course.
Dingwall against
Yeah.
Ross County.
Fuck.
So there you go. Hard
Miss
lines. Give it a good effort there, McIver.
I know, exactly. But
I
as
famous
is
voice.
pair with Adam's questions, get no points for that. Just
Yeah, sorry.
none out of 1 so far.
Maybe give you a half later down the line.
Thanks.
Yeah, this question, you're going to hate this one. Question number 2. And this is your multiple choice. So, yeah, bear with me. Which Scottish Premiership season was the last where the team in 7th did not accrue more points than the team that finished 6th? Was it A, 2021-22, B, 2020-21, C, 2018-19, or D, 2017-18?
What the fuck is this shit? I make a point in this show to not paying attention to anybody else.
I panicked! I left it too late to make up a quiz.
Right.
I was scouring Hearts Heritage and Hearts Stats, and I lifted the first question from Hearts Heritage, so here we are.
Now you've made up this shit. Was
Stop stabbing me with that.
2020, 2021 an option?
Yes.
I'm going with that because I can sit here and pretend that I'm going to use logic and stuff. I couldn't tell you a fucking team that finished then, but I'll go 2021 and we'll see what happens.
That is unbelievable, because it's correct.
Fucking get it up, you, with your shite questions.
Do you want me to run through them?
Yeah, tell me who it was. Was it Hibs?
No.
Oh.
So 2020, 21, 22, Ross County finished 6th on 41 points. Livingston were 7th on 49 points.
Fucking hell.
That season, the correct answer is B, where St Johnstone in 5th, Livingston in 6th, St Mirren in 7th, and Motherwell in 8th, all finished coincidentally on 45 points.
Wow. Fucking hell.
2018-19, we finished 6th on 51 points. St Johnstone finished 7th on 52 points. And in 2017-18, we again finished 6th, this time on 49 points, but a point ahead of Motherwell, who finished in 7th.
See, kids, random guessing can help you in quizzes. Do that in your exams. It's fine.
If in doubt, just try and randomly work it out.
Yep, exactly.
So yes, 1 from 2. There you go. Not the order that you probably would have expected.
No.
But hey,
take it nonetheless.
Question number 3, and this is the one that I'm going to give you a clue or two in.
Right.
The Jambos have now won their last 3 league games against promoted teams in the Scottish Premiership after beating Dundee in consecutive meetings. But when was the last time that Hearts won 3 in a row against newly promoted opposition, and who was it against?
Mate, right, hold on. Dundee got promoted this season, obviously, but that's not the question. The season before, who the fuck got promoted?
Billy.
An angel has come to me, and I believe it's Kilmarnock.
That's miraculous, McIver.
We definitely didn't beat Kelly 3 times in the bounce that season. Season before was us. No, it wasn't. No, it was us. And then I can't fucking remember who got promoted in the 1920 season.
Do you want a couple of clues?
Yeah, I want to see what these clues are.
This club have bounced down to League One, but are currently in the Championship. And it's been over a decade since they were last in the top tier. In a special season for Hearts. There you go. Not going to say anymore.
What? Who's been doing... Right, Falkirk. But Falkirk fucking, aren't they? Airdrie haven't been in the top 5.
Well, that they have not.
No.
Thank God.
Us, but obviously it's no us. We've also not been to
down
League One.
No.
Yeah.
And we can't play against ourselves.
Yeah. Listen, you didn't need to be picking out faults in all these answers, right? Right. I'm just I'm just gonna,
verbal diarrhea at this point.
Yep, exactly. I'm going for a stamina dart. The only other team that I can think of has been to that Partick Thistle.
Oh.
If it's fucking Hamilton, I'll be no Hamilton in League One. I'm going Partick Thistle 2018-19.
No. I said over a decade ago.
Ah, fuck, yeah.
In a special season for
Inverness. No, they won that. No.
Who did I mention Inverness against earlier?
I can't fucking remember. I wasn't paying attention at that point. I was just thinking about the upcoming game analysis. Oh, Dunfermline.
I
hate Dunfermline Athletic with all my heart. I hate them so much. We
had Cammy on the podcast when we were in the Championship. It was great.
And it was a disgrace. But I went to the pre-season friendly we played at East End in the 16-17 summer.
I love East End Park.
I hate it. Ground. We got beat 3-0 or 1, and Dario Zanata missed a penalty. And I was like, oh, the bad times are coming. Now, how right I was. But ever since then...
The bad times are coming.
And I just remember the weird fans when we were in the Championship were like, it's ridiculous that Hearts think they were going to be able to walk this. And then we were absolutely shite and still walked it.
That's David Buick. You've got it in for Big Buick.
Was David the one who absolutely hated Nielsen?
Yes.
Yes. Right. Shocking. Disgrace.
He does.
Fuck Dunfermline.
But in fairness, he did take it back when.
Okay, fair point.
When we were newly promoted, he said, "I used to think Robbie Nielsen was kind of a wanker, but now I feel sorry for him because he's doing a fucking brilliant job."
Fair point. He's also a wrestling fan. The only time we've ever spoken on Twitter is about that. So him and Cammy are the positives of Dunfermline Football Club. James McPake and all that. Fuck off.
Two good guys. Miss them. I was actually meant to be going to Cammy's baby gender reveal party on Saturday, so I'll end up missing the Rangers game. But
shocking priorities. See us get battered by Rangers.
Congrats, Cammy.
Yeah, exactly. Well done. Congrats. Right.
Question number 4. We're digressing here badly. It's my fault. Question number 4. Hearts last went 10 or more games without defeat on home soil within one Scottish Premiership season in which campaign? Was it A, 2017-18? I could see that you were going to get angry, so I'll just give you another multiple choice. A, 2017-18. B, 2016-17. C, 2015-16. Or D, 2012-13.
Well, my guess was going to be 18-19. So this is a disaster. Right.
I think we did over seasons.
Yeah, I think we did. Yeah. Right, we won fucking every game in 15-16, but we did get beat by Falkirk at home in that season. So did that not, surely though we've been
No, you're thinking
unbeaten.
of 14-15
Oh
because we were in the
fuck,
championship
15-16.
14-15. 15
Yeah,
16 we were newly promoted.
right. Beat St Johnstone opening day in that mad game.
That's brilliant.
That was crazy. Juanma getting a double. Um, this is what I mean. Why do I remember that? And then I don't have the rest of the information that would help in this quiz question. Was it 17-18? We were off to a fucking flyer. And then the wheels came off when Naismith's knee blew up in the semi-final at Murrayfield. Was that season?
I thought that was 18-19.
Oh, yeah, it was. Because then the next season we got fucking demoted. Right. I can't remember a single thing about the 17-18 season. So as a result, I'm going with that as a pure guess.
What chance have you actually got? Like, seriously, how have you wangled two correct answers with sheer guesses?
Because I'm
Because it is
class.
2017-18.
That's
Do
how.
you remember the pop-up collar? I think Cathro had left and Levine actually started all right.
Oh, God, yeah.
So, there you go.
Fair play. Was that the preseason we got beat off, like, Peterhead and all that in the cups?
Off Dunfermline.
Oh, yeah, fucking Dunfermline, yeah. And then John Daly took us at Parkhead or something.
Look how far we've come, team.
I know,
Look
exactly.
how far we've come. The dark times were coming.
God. Maybe it was that. So, in potentially successive seasons, we got beat by Dunfermline twice. God, the writing was on the wall. Right, 2 out of 4. I'm taking that with this quiz.
I don't think your time is off, but you've done well. You have
Fuck,
done well.
I dickhead, what's going on? It's too hot.
But here we are. The who am I? The creme de la creme of this podcast. The absolute muck. The head off for another episode. You ready?
Aye, fuck it.
I joined the Jambos from another Scottish club after impressing against them in league meetings between Hearts and my former club. After a disappointing first season in Maroon, I was loaned out elsewhere in Scotland and scored my first goal for my new club against Hibs at Easter Road. I left Hearts to sign for a club in the division below, firing them to the Scottish Championship title after scoring 22 goals in 44 games. From there, I moved to England, but my playing career didn't take me outside of Britain, as I played for 3 English teams and another 3 Scottish clubs before I rejoined the team that the Men in Maroon signed me from. Who am I?
Right. There's one name in my head.
I'll get this man's Wikipedia up as you chat away.
There's one name in my head, but I think there's 2 issues with it. One, I don't think he played in England that I remember. But 2, I also feel like we've potentially done him. So,
who is said name?
The name I'm thinking in my head just now is Dennis Winus.
Right. Okay.
However, as I say, there's a couple of them. I can't remember if we've done Winus. I genuinely can't mind.
I think you have.
I think I have. Another name that was potentially going in my head before you started.
I'm off tomorrow. I'll get this list compiled.
Oh, we need to do that.
It's really starting to annoy me. It's sheer laziness on my part. I'm sorry.
And me. It's both of us that we just have never sat down and done it. Before you started mentioning about goals and like he never played outside of Britain, another name that was in my head was Ryan Edwards.
Right.
Because he went on loan to St Mirren and stuff like that. But then obviously that then changed. So between what seasons did this man play for Hearts?
This man played for Hearts between 2015 and 2017.
It's definitely not Dennis Winus. Right.
No.
15-17. So it's Nielsen's first season up.
I forgot all about that St Mirren Ryan Edwards loan.
Yeah. Where he celebrated them beating us on Twitter because they scored for like the halfway line or something. And he celebrated it. And we were all furious.
Oh, was that the Adam Hamill screamer?
Yeah. Aye. Yeah. We were all hating him, and then he had to come back because we had no centre mids, and then he scores in the fucking final, and it's one of the greatest moments of my life.
I was there that night. I genuinely thought I'd never ever see us win in Paisley, and now we win there all the time.
Yeah, it's just a
hopefully another on Wednesday, guys.
Exactly. Right. 15-17. So Who came in but wasn't he great, and then went immediately back out? Because another name that was kind of in my head was Robbie Muirhead, but nah,
Okay.
that doesn't work because he went to England. He didn't. I don't think he went on loan. I think he just came in and was fucking doing well. Oh, if it is Robbie Muirhead, I know who he played for though, because he played for like MK Dons, Morton. So do I ask clubs? But I don't.
Interesting.
If it's not Robbie Muirhead, I have no idea who anyone else could be. My worry is, what if he signed in January 15 in the championship season, and I'm just basing it off this? I'm torn between nationality and clubs, but I'll be more annoyed if I say nationality and Scottish than if you say clubs and don't mention Morton. So, can I have in order the clubs this man played for?
Of course, can Daniel McIver. Queen of the South, Gretna 2008 on loan. Hearts, Dunfermline Athletic on loan. St Mirren, Bristol Rovers, Cheltenham Town on loan. Carlisle United, Livingston, Greenock Morton on loan. Queen of the South, Stenhousemuir on loan. Arbroath.
What? 2015 to 17.
Yes.
You mentioned our Arbroath there, and I just thought of Jason Thompson. Happy retirement.
Oh, what a guy.
But he didn't play for us in 2015-17.
I think I saw him the last time at Hampden, Jason Thompson, and he had a classic Alexander's Hearts
Oh,
vintage top
really?
on it. That was nice. Good guy.
Who has played for us, St Mirren, Queen of the South, and Arbroath and Steny? What's like? No, it can't be thingy tapping. Oh, we've already done him. You did him. Aye. It's bad. I feel like I should ask position instead of
Oh, whoa, whoa, whoa. You've used two
clubs.
questions.
I know I'm saying I feel like I should have
All right.
asked because clubs never hit. I should never ask clubs because I don't pay attention to where fucking footballers go. Who is a guy? Right, I'm just gonna have to pick a name here.
Who is that guy?
Who is a guy? Um, right, who is somebody that played for us that time? See, this is the thing though. The Queen of the South thing, folk will just be going, "Oh, it's so and so." Right, folk will just know it, but I
I
don't
think
pay
you'll kick
attention.
yourself.
Who? The only other person I had in my head doesn't make sense either because I was thinking of Dale Carrick, but he came through our academy and played before us and was at Airdrie and all that. Um,
Just went down with Stirling Albion as well, Dale Carrick. Sad to see
yeah,
that.
right. I'm just gonna have to say a name. Cheltenham. I'll be annoyed if it is him. It doesn't make any sense, but I'm just going to go Robbie Muirhead, even though I know it's not because he played at MK Dons. But I don't know anybody else that played for Cheltenham. So who is it?
Daniel McIver is not Robbie Muirhead.
Yep.
It is Gavin Riley.
I didn't know Gavin Riley played for a single one of those teams. Gavin Riley was at St Mirren and all that.
Gavin Riley essentially fired St Mirren to the championship title, yeah.
I had no idea. I didn't know he
I
played for
know.
Queen of the South
The
a
forgotten man.
million times.
That's it. So he's only just left Queen of the South again. And Queen of the South, I saw it recently. I saw Queen's statement, and it said we can confirm that Gavin Riley will be leaving Queen of the South at the end of the season, and is expected to link up with former manager Jim McIntyre at Arbroath for next season. At
Yeah.
this stage of his career and with a young family, Gavin has taken the opportunity to begin an apprenticeship outside football and go part-time. Now, I don't know what the apprenticeship is in, but I thought that was quite an interesting move. And now, yeah,
Yeah.
stayed in League One with Arbroath.
Fair play to him.
He was loaned again to Dunfermline. Don't know what Dunfermline have done to just
Didn't know
feature
he
so
played at
heavily
Dunfermline. I know.
in
Why
this
have
playoffs
Dunfermline become the main
in this
characters?
episode. Yeah, because in June 2016, Riley joined Scottish Championship club Dunfermline Athletic on a year-long loan. And his first goal arrived in a 2-1 defeat away to Hibernian at Easter Road.
But
There
yeah, I
you
just
go.
had no idea he played for any of those. I just don't think I've
It was
ever
Alan
thought.
Stubbs that didn't offer him a permanent deal at St Mirren, and then he
Ah,
went to Bristol. Bristol Rovers, Cheltenham on loan, Carlisle leaving by mutual consent after 5 months. Then he signed for Livingston. I forgot all about that. January 2021, signed for Livingston on an 18-month
nah.
contract. Queens, Stenhousemuir, and Arbroath. So there you go. The forgotten man, Gavin Riley.
Literally, had completely forgotten he'd played for any of those teams. So let us know if you did get Gavin Riley and we're just screaming, he played for Queen of the South. It's obviously Gavin Riley. And let us know if you did enjoy this episode. If you did, please leave a review on your podcast platform of choice. If you've been watching us on YouTube, please leave a like, comment, and subscribe. Perth to Paisley on all the socials, perthtopaisley@gmail.com if you want to fire us over an email. Adam, where can they get you on all the socials?
You can get me on all the socials rewatching Gavin Riley's penalty against Motherwell at Adam T. Kendall. What about yourself, mate?
I'm at DMcIver22. We'll be back next week to conclude the Scottish Premiership season, talk about both games that happened and anything else in between, potentially a new Benny Bedingame contract if he decides to stop being vague. Who knows? But
Scott Fraser on a permanent?
so many wonderful options. Until then, we'll see you next time. Bye bye.
More hearts!